You came to the right place if you're looking for the top 25 most valuable Kaldheim Magic the Gathering cards. Let's start all the way at number 25. Now, a couple things I want to point out to you guys. This is the top 25 list. The prices you see are subject to change for sure. Might see a 25% decrease in all these cards. Some cards might drop as far as 50%. Some cards will go up. Right now, we just don't know. But these are my thoughts on the 25 most valuable. Let's kick things off. I do have prices, and I'm going to show you also the card frames, whether it's extended, showcase. I'm going to mix it up at times. Number 25, the normal NRM is $5.24, and the extended art version is $19.26. See, like something like this, the extended art, you're probably going to see that tank down to like $10. You know, again, it all depends on distribution. Collector boxes is really where you're going to find a lot of those. But nonetheless, we have Eradicator Valkyrie. Pretty cool. It's an Angel and Berserker. It's got a lot of nice abilities on it. Hexproof from Planeswalkers. The only thing I don't like, if that thing just had hexproof, man, this thing would be broken. But it's got a boast built into it, you know, where you got to sacrifice a creature. Each opponent sacrifices. It seems like a lot of these cards are geared towards Commander. But at 1926, yeah, right now, do not go out purchasing any of these cards. It's a bad time to buy. With a couple exceptions, though. Like, I do have some speculation, and we'll get to that card when we cross that bridge. Here you go. We have good old God of Fright and the Lantern, the showcase version, $14.21. So, yeah, that's something. That price is just not going to hold up. Card will see play, without a doubt. But the price, $14.21, not going to happen. And then $5.38, that's kind of low. It's low, but it's going to go lower. You can bet on that. There's going to be a lot of boxes printed, a lot of copies printed. A lot of copies going to flood the market. Then we have our Starnheim Unleashed. Starnheim. 4-drop. I like this one. Create a 4/4 White Angel Warrior creature token with flying and vigilance. If the spell was foretold, create X of those tokens instead, which is pretty cool. So you can get a whole bunch of those. It's like situational. Are you later in the game, or do you just need it right now? I don't like that it's a sorcery, but it is what it is. $5.62. We have seen cards similar to this. Again, these prices are going to drop. Where they're going to be in 2 months, that's really what's going to matter. You know, Standard will have an impact on it, but anything geared for Commander, cards can jump in price like crazy, or, you know, drop if they don't see much play. But this is a cool card with nice art. Then we have our old Whispering Raven and God of the Cosmos. I like that. The normal version's $5.72 right now, and some prices you're going to notice are going to maybe be slightly less than the card right before it, but that's because prices changed as I was creating this video. So they were going up and down with, like, you know, pennies apart. So some might be, you know, should be 21 when it's really 22, you know, and vice versa. So God of Cosmos, a lot of people are liking this one. I had one person say that they're highly speculating in this card, and they picked up a bunch of copies. Cool. I mean, sometimes you can get really cheap, you know, prices. For example, the Great Henge. I picked up 2 play sets from TCG Player for under $10. I went back to look. It was $9.62 I paid for 2 play sets of Great Henge, each card. That card's going for like, what, $70 now? And I bought them during pre-release. So that just goes to show you some cards can really, really take flight. There's no doubt about it. The normal version of Protector Shield and God of the Worthy, $5.81. Oh, Redane. And the showcase version, $8.49. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of these hitting the market again. This is one card. I'm not sure what to make of it yet. Flying, Vigilance, Snowlands your opponent's control under the battlefield tapped. So, I mean, already that's kind of situational. Non-creature spells your opponent's cast with converted mana cost 4 or greater, cost 2 more to cast. Yeah, I mean, this is it's a fun card. And like one of your kind of, you know, lands and taxes, you know, tax kind of, you know, stuff where you're making your opponent pay a little bit more for stuff, slowing them down. But outside of like Standard and outside of, I mean, Commander, I don't even know if you want to run this in Commander. I guess yeah, maybe. I don't know. If a source an opponent controls would deal damage to you or a permanent you control, prevent one of that damage. Whenever you or a permanent you control becomes the target of a spell Or ability opponent controls counter that spell. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, that would definitely slow people down a little bit if they're really ramping up. So, yeah, definitely see Commander play. But the Snowland your opponent's control on the battlefield tap, that's not really going to do much, you know. This is a great sideboard, though, for Standard, for sure. In Modern, it might just be too slow. Then we got Quakebringer, which is fun. That extended art's 876. This is one that might go up in price. It just might, you know. The normal copy's 577. Denying your opponent the ability to gain life, and then that sweet ability. At the beginning of your upkeep, Quakebringer deals 2 damage to each opponent. This ability triggers only if Quakebringer is on the battlefield or if Quakebringer is in your graveyard and you control a giant. I like that stipulation on it. Got the foretell on it for 4. Creatures, it's kind of hard to say where they're going to go. I mean, they die to removal. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're as good as your opponent's removal. Our creatures are as good as that most of the time. So 577, 876 at number 20. Then we're going down number 20 or number 19. Tibolt's Trickery. This one I see Tibolt's Trickery. Man, it could probably going to stay around this price. It's gonna take down a little bit, but there are some insane shenanigans you can pull off. Some turn 2 wins that are just cheating this, you know, cheating some huge Eldrazi's onto the battlefield, as you guys have seen in past videos. If you haven't seen that, go check it out on the channel. But man, extended art 1244. A lot of these cards will dive. They will dive in price, you know, just because they print so many of them. So even this card, as good at it as it is, and as fun as it is, yeah, 1244. I don't know about that, man. But again, this is hype prices. You guys have to keep that in mind. I just like making these videos because a lot of people are like, you can't go base down those prices, and really, no, you can't. But this is what they're going for right now. So it gives you a good idea what people value them at. If you just put like minus 30% on every single card, you know, 40%, that's probably where cards are going to end up sitting within a couple weeks after pre-release, you know, and boxes are being cracked left and right, or actual release, you know. So interesting, though, to note. Then you got Haunting Voyage, 588, 940. This is one I just think is going to tank. The extended art's cool, though. 940 on that. This is coming in at number 18. I don't know, man. Yeah, we've seen similar cards with Thwart the Grave, which is an uncommon, Thwart the Grave. And that hasn't really seen much play in Standard. I mean, outside of Standard, yeah, sure. You know, this could be really busted. You know, if the spell is foretold, return all creature cards of that type from your graveyard to the battlefield instead. So if you were running like zombies, or you're running, there's also cards where they're every creature type. You know, you can make every creature in your graveyard the same type as every other creature, you know, the Changling thing, all that kind of stuff, where you can essentially mill the crap out of yourself, play a Haunting Voyage. You'd have to somehow not mill the Haunting Voyage, and then bring back every single one of your creatures from your graveyard. That's ridiculous, but that also can happen, you know. So I'm curious to see where this goes, but I definitely believe this is one Mythic that will go down in price. Then we got number 17, Doomscar. That's right, 5-drop. But you can use the Foretell for 2 on turn 2 or something, and then Foretell it for only 3. You have a Wrath of God, destroy all creatures. That's not bad. This is one card that people were like, this card isn't that good, blah, 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 blah. I heard a bunch of stuff in the comments, and you're right to you're entitled to your opinion. That's fine. But the price right now, it's one of the top 25 most valuable cards. The normal version is $643, extended art $792. This is a really, really cool card, guys. It will probably drop to like around $2-3 or something like that for the normal version. It's really hard to say with some of the extended art cards where the price will end up. It really is. Same with the showcase cards. Like, you almost never know. It's odd how that works, but anyway, moving forward, number 16 is Kaya, the Inexorable. Yeah, she's legit. She's all right. She's nothing too amazing. 5-drop. I mean, you got crazy removal there. You're exiling a target non-land permanent. And the +1, put a ghost form counter on up to 1 target non-token creature. Gains when this creature dies, or is put into exile, return it to its owner's hand, and create a 1/1 white spirit creature token flying. The fun thing is that -7, the emblem at the beginning of your upkeep, you may cast a legendary spell from your hand, from your graveyard, or from among cards you own in exile without paying its mana cost. That's legit. This one's probably going to stay around this price, if not tick down a little bit. I mean, I could say that about every single card. They're going to tick down, but there's some that I think will go up, and we're going to get to those pretty soon here. But at number 16, it's interesting. Another Kaya Orzhov Usurper. That card has potential to really jump, especially for sideboard play. With all these cards that are coming out that like having cards in exile, man, that card will punish opponents who run a lot of exile cards. Just think about that. Pretty interesting. In Search of Greatness. Love this card. I think I said this card's probably going to settle around $6. Right now it's at $6. I said this card's pretty busted. It's pretty broke. It's great. It is a really, really cool card. And I like the fact that they really put a lot of rares in this set that jacked up the price a bit. I've noticed from past sets, I would do these spoiler videos, and you would see cards at around, starting at the bottom 25, at number 25, $2.40. This was like a year ago. Inflation's a thing as well, guys. But I started off this video, and I think the bottom one was like $4 or $5. That's a big difference, So interesting to note. In Search of Greatness, though, I do like this card. You're basically cheating in an extra card every turn as long as you can. You just need to have that card draw. If you combo this with some card draw, man, you're going to be dropping silly spells and creatures on the battlefield left and right. Silly permanents, It's going to be really interesting to see. I like it. Yeah. Torolf, God of Fury. So the showcase is $9.94. The regular version, $7.33. This card's got a little bit of hype around it. The excess combat damage can make for some really fun combos and what have you. So being at $7.33, it's probably around where it should be. Probably where it should be. The cool thing is these cards, these two-phase cards, it's really hard to know where they're going to end up. But I think having two choices and, do you want to go with this or that is just, it's amazing. And we got a lot of those, or quite a decent amount in this set. And that's why I'm more hyped about this set than I have been for past ones. $7.33 though, we'll see. The whole lightning bolt thing, well, it's more of a lightning strike, I guess, because you're going to pay $2. The fact that you can just replay that again and again and again, as long as you meet the stipulations, on the card, that's pretty cool. Again, hard to say where this one's going to end up. The World Tree. Oh, the World Tree. See, this is one example. That extended art, $27.89. People want to bling it out. Now, I didn't put foil prices on here, but I would imagine the foil version is probably like $40 or something. This is a very cool card. It does ridiculous things. It's going to see a heck ton of play, or a lot of play in Commander. If you're running multicolor, if you're running a 5-color build, this is an auto include, hands freaking down. I mean, there's no way you would not run this if you have the means to in a 5-color Commander deck. It just slots right in. Bada bing. If you're running gods, even better. If you're running cards that make all your creatures the same type, holy crap. And there are cards that do that, which I think it's, I don't know if it's in this one. We'll find out in a minute here. But $27.89, yeah, I mean, again, that's probably going to be halved. You'll see that down to like $13, $14 around, within a week after release. But who knows? Crazy things happen, man. Nico, I got to give credit to the extended art version of this card. This one has so much, I don't know what you want to say. There's a lot of talk about this card, People happy, people unhappy, whatever. It's just a game. 771, cool. The extended art, 1107. I think that extended art is really nice, though. I don't care for this art whatsoever. I think this is putrid. That's my own thoughts. But this art, I think that's a lot better. I like that. I like how the shards are shining. I think that's going to be nice on foil, too. It's going to be a nice little pop there. But extended is 1107. Yeah. Nico, you got... It's... They is okay. Nico's okay. I don't think it's not the most amazing, but I don't know, man. It's really hard to size this one up. I don't even know what to say anymore on Nico. Battle Mammoth. Here's one you could almost bet anything it's going to drop in value. This thing should probably be around $3, when all the smoke is clear, Extended Art 1065. It's a cool card, but man, it just has to remove them. And you're going to want to have, this thing is going to be a target 100%. I mean, you got to find a way to protect it. Whenever a permanent you control becomes a target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card. I guess if you can give this thing hexproof or just continuously protect it, you know, give it protection from everything, whatever, then this card is a powerhouse. But without that, you know, without something else, this it's just a 6/5 with some trample, you know, and it's going to die to removal right away. But nonetheless, really cool. Extended Art 1065, yeah, and then the normal version 741. It's going to go down. Then we have Coma, Cosmo, Serpent coming in at number 10. We're at the top 10 here. So the normal version is 828, the showcase 1236. I can see that showcase creeping up. I don't know about, you know, within a week or two of release, but this card, man, it's really difficult to get rid of unless you're able to make your opponent sacrifice this thing and his whole board or something. You have to exile it. You know, so good luck. And the fact that that's how this thing operates, you should be very afraid. If you're running Simic and Commander, you're running this card. How it's going to fare in other formats, I mean, you obviously got to have a Simic ramp shell, you know, that's looking to control. So 1236, 828, it's not, I don't think it's overhyped. I think it's right around probably where it should be in a couple weeks, but then again, what was the Hydroid Crossus? That thing, it was low. It was like $3 or $4 when it was spoiled, and that card jumped all the way to like $40 for a while, and now it's settled back down. I think it's around 13 to 15. But that was at release. It was like $3 or $4. Think about that. I mean, cards can crazily jump. That's why, you know, when people are like, oh man, these stupid price videos don't mean nothing. They really do, because you could always look back at them and be like, oh man, I should have got that. You know, it's fun to look at it like that, but also see cards that just tank. But it's nice to see the ones that do go up and appreciate in value, you know. And usually the ones that are really underpriced, you know, they're we'll get to one. I don't know if it's really underpriced, but it's interesting. But this thing's going to be a freaking mess to deal with. Number 9, Sword of the Realms and God of Battle. I like this. Yeah, you're going to play it in your Boros Commander builds and what have you. It's a pretty strong card. Again, the gods are not they don't have indestructible. They don't. They just do not have indestructible. There is a card that does give them indestructible, but didn't even make the top list. Didn't make the top 25. But yeah, these gods, I mean, by themselves, not bad. Creatures you control that are enchanted or equipped have double strike. Got to keep those puppies on the battlefield. Maybe, you know, equip them with hexproof or something. Yeah, they always say hexproof or something, but really, yeah. And yeah, 1317 for the showcase art. I mean, I only went with the regular art version here. The showcase art just seems so cluttered to me. I wish I would have put it on the screen for you guys. Not all these showcases seem like cluttered like that, but this one in particular really did to me. Yeah, I think this one's going to tick down for sure. Probably like $4 or $5. I mean, you're going to see these prices really tank. Tyvar, Arkell. Another one I believe will tank, but for anyone running black, green, elves, I mean, you're going to want this in your build. And there are quite a few builds based around that, including a new commander deck based entirely around the concept of black and green elves. So this would fit nicely in there. 963, 1268. Yeah, it's going to go down. Again, this card you're probably going to see around $5, but it will go up. Especially if it ends up, you know, finding some crazy synergy. But it's just an all-around decent card. I can't say it's like above average, but if you look at it this way, if you can get that emblem, I mean, mostly any Planeswalker emblem, if you can get it to its ultimate, which that's what I consider the bottom one, like, you know, its ultimate combo, its ultimate, you know, ability. If you can get it to that -6, think about the insane amount of card draw, and those elves are dropping with haste. I mean, that's a big threat. So it can be a staple inside a lot of decks, but maybe proliferating, you know, or something, just to get that cooking. that's going to be a force. Then we have a Seca, God of the Tree, Prismatic Bridge. This is a card I said would be in the top 5 cards of the entire set, if not the most expensive card in the entire set. I got to be real with you. It's $10.21. Call me crazy. All right, call me crazy. But I picked up some copies of this. I picked up some copies. Showcase version, too. Nothing crazy. I like to pick up a couple play sets of every set, one card. And this was the one card I went with. I got 2 play sets that will arrive ordered early at the prices you see right here. I think actually one was like $9. I found someone selling it for below market for I think $9. It was on TCG Player. I cleared them out. And there was another one selling for slightly above that, and I cleared them out too. So there you go. Now you know. But 1021, yeah. This is one card that is just insanely broken. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature or planeswalker card. Put that card on the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Man, that just screams power to me. You're just dropping a creature or a planeswalker card nonstop. I'll just run a crap ton of ramp. That's all you need to do. Run the World Tree in this. You know, any enablers to give you all color mana, kind of mana rocks and stuff, and just run an insane amount, like the big bad wolves of creatures and planeswalkers. Not wolves exactly, but just some of the bigger creatures, some of the spicier creatures with crazy effects, you know, and planeswalkers as well. And just run Bolas, and Enta Furies and stuff. Just it's gonna be a sick card. I see this being the number 1 card over time, number 1 or number 2 over time from the set. Then we have ourselves the Arkell, Horn of Bounty, 968, 1533. Interesting thing. This is a rare, but this is a pretty good rare. However, it's going to decrease by 50%, I guarantee you. There's no 2 ways about it. This one's going to go down. It's a good card. 968. I mean, whenever you cast a spell, add a red mana until end of turn. You don't lose this mana as steps and phases end. That's pretty cool. Creatures you control can boast twice during each of your turns rather than once. That extra little boast thing on there might be cool. I mean, I don't know if it's going to really matter too much in Standard, but I mean, outside of Standard, there's a lot of decks that would like this. You know, even Historic, Pioneer. You know, we'll take to this. You know, outside of that, we'll see. And then to discard a card, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play those cards this turn. That's pretty great too. It is a 5-drop to do that, but nonetheless, really cool legendary artifact. I like it. Resplendent Marshall. This one's overpriced. If I'm wrong, whatever. I think this card's way overpriced. I see this, again, probably being halved. $6, $7, something like that. I think the other 3-drop Angel is better than this overall. And that didn't even make the top 25. I think it's sitting at around $2 or something right now. But I mean, the field, or not, I want to call it Field Marshal, the Resplendent Marshal. It's cool. It has fun abilities on it. You know, putting +1/+1 counters on stuff is no joke. The whole exile and everything. It's all right. We'll see what it does. Again, we'll see how it goes. But do not be surprised to see this card drop a lot in value. Goldspan Dragon, man. When this first came out, the hype was real. They were like $24, bam. No, do not spend $24. Do not spend $14 on this right now. This will go down. Most of these cards will go down. This thing, I mean, then again, I don't know. The ability with that treasure token, you have tap, sacrifice, artifact, add 2 mana of any color. That is explosive, man. You can, if you have even a couple treasure tokens out, 3 whatever. You're getting double. You're getting 2. You're getting a 2 for 1 treasure sack. That's pretty cool. That is really cool. Got to keep it on the field though. And whenever Goldspan Dragon attacks or becomes a target of a spell, create a treasure token. So I mean, as long as they don't remove this thing right away, you're getting some instant value out of it when it hits the battlefield. You're gonna swing in for 4, and then you're gonna create that treasure token, and you can already, you know, drop 2. pay 2 for whatever. You have 2 excess right there, off rip. And that's not even to say if you have additional treasure tokens out. If you already have 3 out, you're looking at, man, a lot of mana. That's like 8 when you swing, after you swing in with this thing. Holy crap, and you can play some really disgusting spells to go along with it. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I don't think 14 is where it should be right now, but I mean, this is a good card. Probably like $10 or something. Then we have Orvar at our number 3. The All-Form. Legendary creature shapeshifter and the Changeling. Whenever this thing is really cool. I don't need to read it again to you. But the fact that you're going to get a lot of value out of this. You will get a lot of value out of this. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, I'm going to read it. If it targets one or more other permanents you control, create a token that's a copy of one of those permanents. When a spell or ability an opponent controls causes you to discard this card, create a token that's a copy of target permanent. What? Yeah. I mean, Thought Season won't work with so well unless you only have, like, this in your hand. That's it. Then okay. But, I mean, if your opponent's just randomly making you discard a card, yeah, I think we'll get rid of this. And then, especially if they have something nice out, or if you have something nice out, create a token that's a copy of target permanent. That could be yours, could be theirs. Just think of Commander, how crazy that would be. So, yeah, something to keep an eye on. 1725. This is a cool card. I said this would be one of the more expensive ones, too. It's coming in at number 3 on our list. Then we got Mr. Tibolt. Valkyrie, God of Lies. There are a lot of versions of this. There's the normal one, the extended art one, and the showcase one, which I did not include any of those on the screen. I just wanted to focus more so, the cards and the prices really quick. So, yeah, at 1920, the normal, I mean, this is a 7-drop Planeswalker, guys. 7-drop Planeswalker. That's a lot. But what it does is insane. Yeah, what it does is just really insane, man. A lot of value on this card, even on both sides. But, man, if you're able to cast that Imposter, and you'll have a lot of matches where you can, it's not like you're just going to die every time. But, yeah, in the right build, man, once you're, especially with the -8, exile cards from graveyards, and then you just basically play your opponent's spells. That's crazy. And the -3, exile target artifact or creature, nice flex. +2, you're exiling top card of each player's library. And there's cards that just go with it. You'll just exile cards. This thing is, the only downside is, I think it has to be its own. You may play cards exiled with Tibolt, Cosmic Imposter. So it has to be, the cards in exile have to be exiled by Tibolt itself. So you're going to have like your separate exile piles here. Interesting stuff. If it didn't read that, yeah, this card would be just ridiculous. And it'd probably be like a $30 card, $40 card, but it's going to see play. It's going to have fun. You're going to have fun with this card. I think that's more so the best part of it. There's a lot of people that like just messing with their opponents, and this is one card you'll want to have. Coming in at number 1 is Voronclax, Monstrous Raider. That crazy showcase. I'm sorry, this is incorrect. This should not say showcase here. Where it says extended is the showcase at 4567. That would be for the showcase version here. Where it says showcase at 7884, that's for this version right here, the Phyrexia language card. It's currently at 7884. The normal print of this card, I didn't even have it on the screen, it's 3972. This is a really cool card, okay? It's kind of like a doubling season in a sense, but on a creature, And I love that it has haste on it and trample. That is really cool. But when you're dropping Planeswalkers down with this thing out, man, you are doubling the counters on your Planeswalker. The loyalty goes up. Very, very cool card. The price, I don't think it's gonna go up for the Phyrexian. I don't think it's gonna go past the 7884. Now the foil Phyrexian ones, I think, are gonna be where the big money's at in this set. Yeah, you're going to see like probably $150, $200 of those cards, depending on how many they really put out there. We've noticed there's some cards, Take, for example, Commander Legends. When that dropped, the supply of like the top 4 mythics was reduced. And I kind of like that they did that just for collector's standpoint. You know, if you want a regular version of the card, that's fine. You know, they're much cheaper. But if you want to pull one of those big dogs in the mythic slot with the foil, with the extended art or whatever, they did not pop up nearly as much as some of the others around them. And I think that speaks volume for where Wizards is going, you know. They're increasing rarity on some cards, not saying nothing about it. And this is probably one of those cards they're going to do the same thing with, you know. You might see this as a $200+ card if it's really scarce, you know, like we all think it, well, like I think it will be. Now, here's some mentionables. The Maskwood Nexus. Creatures you control are every creature type. The same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. I think that is really cool. $3.83. This thing's going to tick down a little bit, but man, I think over time this is going to be one of those cards. It's going to be a hot pool in the set. Extended art sitting at $10.01. Really fun. And then I also want to throw this one up here. $3.79. This card will see a bunch of play. Mystic Reflection. Choose target non-legendary creature. The next time one or more creatures or planeswalkers enter the battlefield this turn, they enter as copies of the chosen creature. So basically, you can get the whole Foretell thing going. Do this for 1. And then play a couple creatures. Make it something ridiculous. You know, non-legendary, whatever the case may be. We'll just go with Gargaroth right now. You know, bam, you got 2 Gargaroths on the field. No. And that's pretty cool. You know, if you just play like 2 little elves or something, or whatever the case may be, whatever you're running, flyer, your sprite, whatever you want to run, a Drake, who cares? This card is really neat, and I think it's going to take off. And I love that it's at instant speed, which is even cooler. That could be annoying with flash stuff too. Very annoying with flash creatures that are 1-drops. All right, that's all she wrote, man. Kaldheim. 25 most valuable. What are your thoughts? Are you speculating? What do you think is going to go up? What do you think is going to go down? Do you think I'm right? I'm very do you think I'm right about the one card that I dumped some money into? I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you guys enjoyed the video, by all means, take a moment, hit the like button, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Joey Moss, Bad Boy Gaming. Skatosh.